first job was a series of a few hundred portraits of footballers for the Sun newspaper as it had just started at that time. And it was quite a discipline because there were pressures on time, scale, that sort of thing. My process of walking into my studio in the morning is getting in here, having a little bit of space to sit and think before I even start. Put my music on, it might be jazz or whatever it is, choral music, and I like that process of just sitting down for a while and then sitting at my easel and starting to mix some paints. Portraits of footballers. I thought it was a wonderful job at the time because I think the average weekly wage back then was about £40 a week. This was in 71. And I was making about 180 a week. So it seemed, what a wonderful job, you know. But then all of a sudden, after the 6 months of that particular job, then there was a gap of a couple of months with nothing coming in. So it set the pattern of freelance life for the rest of my life. As a painter, obviously you do have to find your own direction and your own voice and your own visual language. And I feel that came naturally. It was a natural process. I didn't want to force it. As an illustrator, I had to paint very realistically, almost photographically, and it was what was wanted at the time. But I actually prefer to be looser with paint. And so I was given the opportunity as a painter to push that as far as I could go. In my genre, I'll never be an abstract painter, but I quite like pushing the paintings, figurative paintings, to the edge. And that's been a gradual process over the years. I do a lot of painting on Tresco every year, and so these are relative to Tresco, all this lot. Again, working out all my problems on little bits of cartridge paper, which can be quite good. Particularly for my figure work, I quite like working on the figure from a drawing rather than the figure in front of you. I'll do the drawing from the figure, then use that drawing to turn it into a painting like this orange one here. You can see my influences with these sorts of paintings are going away from my realistic style that I had as an illustrator. I'm more influenced by the Californian Bay Area figurative painters now with the sort of work I do, Diebenkorn and Oliveira, Park, all these people that were painting in the 60s in California. We moved to Devon 40 years ago and lived in the countryside there, and that's got me more involved with the landscape and painting the landscape. Although I love Devon, it's very pretty, and I found that harder to paint than the next move coming to Cornwall, where I like rugged landscape. I even like painting bad weather. You know, I love when the waves are crashing and the sky's greyer. I like mixing grey into all my colours because of that. So it's yeah, I'd say that's a passion of mine, working with dramatic weather. There's a canvas behind there that's quite a big tall one, which would be too big for my easel, so I'd put that onto the wall, fix it to the wall and paint physically on that over there, so for the larger canvases. But also I can put pins in and let paintings dry on that. So it's a drying place as well as a painting place. I mean, I think that's essential, that you can keep changing. You should never feel you've achieved or arrived. I think there's always got to be that struggle. It's what keeps me going every day, a new challenge, and you know, I still find it exciting. I've never found it a chore to have to go to work. It's I've been lucky in that respect. I feel bad if I can't go into my studio or go and teach or one day. I need it, and it's part of my life.